Hey everybody, it's Saturday evening and I'm going to be going out for a little while, so I want to try to get at least a little bit of video in before I go out, just in case I don't have time to get anything more lengthy shot tonight. But this is my black ghost knife fish tank, and if you watched my video the other day, my around the world video, I found that one of my Tiger Barbs in here was all bloated up. Some people call it dropsy, whatever you want to call it. It's a result of fluid retention, edema, whatever you want to call it. Long story short, he's dead. So that was the last Tiger Barb that was in this tank. Now, we know I'm going to be adding to the school of this little dwarf neon rainbowfish here. Absolutely love this little fish. And so I need to get the school bolstered up for that. But one of the other things I wanted to do in this tank was to have some angelfish. Look at that stunning look at my black ghost knife fish. You can see its little black and white tip of its tail sticking out, and you can even see a little bit of its body tucked away up under there. So that's where it seems to spend most of its time now. Presumably it's getting too big to live in the cave that it used to live in, which is the cave right here front and center. And every now and again we used to be able to see it stick its face out, but now we don't even see that. The upshot is we do get to see a little bit of its tail occasionally. I'll see it sort of move backwards and forward, and I think sometimes it doesn't realize when it's moving backwards it's actually sticking half its body all the way out into the tank, and I really do actually sort of get to see it. I'm hoping maybe that'll happen while we're standing here chatting about it for a minute. At any rate, with the last of the Tiger Barbs being gone, that really opens the tank up for me to be able to do other stuff. One thing I've wanted to do in this tank for a long time is to put angelfish in it. I just think angelfish would look fantastic in this tank. But I've got angelfish in my wife's tank. I've got angelfish in my 29 miscellaneous. I've got an angelfish in my angelfish tank. And up until a couple of days ago, I had an angelfish in my gourami tank. So as much as I love angelfish, obviously, I don't really think I need to put another angelfish in this tank, as pretty as that would look. But there are other options. One thing that keeps popping into my head is the Apistogramma cockatoidus. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. They're often called cockatoos. They are beautiful little fish. I've had apistos in the past. This tank, once upon a time, had crebensis in it. As much as I might like to do crebensis again, I had a pair, a male and a female, and when they bred, as tiny as those little fish are, they were absolute terrors, and they had everybody in this tank, including my Synodontis, my Tenopoma, and my snakeskin gourami, all of which, when this was an African-themed tank, I started it out with crebensis in here being the main themed fish, and then, of course, my little Tenopoma and everything was, you know, a fraction of the size it is now. And those two little crebensis had everybody crowded into the corner, hiding in terror from them. And it was actually kind of fascinating to watch. The little school of their fry would sort of make their way around the bottom, and Mom and Dad would just sort of patrol around, and they would just kind of let the little fry go wherever they wanted. If any lagged behind, Dad would go back, scoop them up in his mouth, and drop them off into the pile. And meanwhile, Mom was raising holy hell in front of her and scaring anybody away that was anywhere near them. Fascinating to watch, but not really tenable for a community tank. So as much as I liked the crebensis clearly are not really an option for this tank, but the apistogrammas are, and there's a lot of different species of apistogramma out there that would go in this tank. Even just some of the common ones that I could easily get for, you know, $13, $14 are just stunning. So that's actually kind of what I'm leaning towards now, is just getting a simple apisto in here, or, you know, who knows? There's lots and lots of dwarf cichlids out there that would fit in a 40-gallon tank and still be community friendly, provided I don't pair them off and have them breed. It always surprises me how often people tell me I should go, oh, you need a female, get a female. I don't want to destroy the tank. You get a female and then they start breeding and suddenly they become territorial and you no longer have a community tank. With my T-bar over here, I often have people telling me I should get him a female and he'd be so much happier with the female, and you know, I'm not really sure that's the goal here, to get my, well, I'll spare that thought, I won't say that, but you know, to give my fish a companion, I'll say, is not really necessarily what I'm looking for. I don't think he's lonely, per se, and getting depressed the way a person does. But if I put a female in there with that T-bar, they'd probably pair off, and as soon as they did, everybody in this tank would be in danger. And that's just not what I want from a tank. So I seldom have paired fish, you know, especially when it comes to the cichlids. Whether it's angelfish, I've had angelfish that paired off before in this tank, and angelfish are pretty far down on the aggression scale. So it was doable, but it really was a different dynamic in this tank when I had a mated pair. Believe me, it was everybody stayed at one end and the mated pair stayed at the other, and nobody got killed, but it was not a friendly, happy community tank like you see now. So if I do get a cichlid for this tank, or a dwarf cichlid of some sort, and I probably, before anybody says German blue rams, I've tried them in the past. I've never had any luck with them. I don't know if it was the bad stock I was buying. I don't know if it was my water. I guess maybe I could try them again. The tank we were just looking at used to have Bolivian rams back in it in the day. But the fish I really like and I really miss is my Crenocicla compressiceps, a dwarf pike cichlid. That was the coolest little fish. Mine was a female, never really developed any colors or anything. And I had her for about 3 years. Don't really know why she died, but she was a cool little fish. So I really like the dwarf pike cichlid too. So that's an option. So suffice it to say that the whole point of this video is to say that now that that Tiger Barb is dead, the black ghost knifefish tank here can really start to develop some different personality. I'm going to boost up that school of rainbowfish, and then we'll be able to get a different sort of specimen fish in here. I'm even debating trying to get that black ghost knifefish out of here. It's just a big bioload for what? Well, I guess the what is, on the occasion I do get to see it, it's a neat treat and it's a cool fish, and I've had it for all these years. At this point, it would almost seem a shame to get rid of it. It just seems like it's my fish at this point, you know? So there you go, just a sort of an update on my black ghost knifefish tank with a little side look at my T-bar tank. So make sure you subscribe, that way you won't miss any of the updates or any of the good stuff I've got coming up. We'll figure out what's going on with this tank at some point in the near future. Just saw my black ghost down there wiggling around. I was hoping he was going to stick his tail out for us, but he did not, alas. Alright everybody, make sure you subscribe. Don't forget, this one is my black ghost knifefish tank. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you real soon on the next one.